for joining Nostalgia from A to Z. We have sat here for 30 minutes and came to the conclusion that we are not good at introductions.
We are not good at introductions.
So we're just going to say our names. I'm Abby Powers.
I'm Zach Daniels.
And we are going to go through every year, randomly generated, and talk about an album that we liked and we would recommend to each other, and a movie that we would recommend to each other, and other random facts about that year. And at the end of every episode, we will just do the same thing, randomly generated, 1960 to 2025, and go from there.
Yep.
First album. No, we wanted to start actually with fun facts.
And boy, do I have a doozy. I don't know if I should lead with that fact, though.
Lead with it, you know?
Lead with the fact?
Yeah.
All right. So, in May 17th of 1990, the World Health Organization officially removed homosexuality from its list of diseases.
Woo! Took him long enough. And it's so sad. It's honestly kind of sad to think that it wasn't that long ago. Like, that was like,
it's insane it's not that long ago.
Only 1990, and it was, that's crazy.
Oh, it's only 1990. Like, we were doing a bit before this. I'm going to the doctor and being diagnosed with gay.
Professionally diagnosed and prescribed medicine for being gay.
Preface, BT dubs, we're both queer.
My hand went limp like that.
My hand goes limp.
It's just crazy that was so recent, and I just couldn't imagine someone actually thinking that's an issue. So why is it a disease? Why are we? At least we're in a time now where it wouldn't be considered a disease, but I think it's scary thinking that it could very easily go back to that.
Very quickly.
Actually.
Very quickly.
Do you have any other facts to get out of that such grim introduction?
That's the only fact I have for now.
We did find other facts, but just something that felt entertaining, I guess. Not saying that gay hate was entertaining, but a lot of things lied to us.
Like a lot of things lied to us.
We would type what happened in 1990, and it was just like 1990 the whole
in the 90s.
Yeah, and that's not what we were looking for.
I was trying to look up video game, and I could do video game things. It was the 90s.
But that can move us on to our album. And I do have a little fact of music. Go ahead.
So, the first MTV Unplugged aired in 1990.
Did not know that.
With the British band Squeeze. No, I don't think I've ever heard Squeeze.
Never heard of Squeeze,
but man, what we got from MTV Unplugged.
Is it still going on or no?
I actually don't know.
I'd
think
assume
it's
not.
Ended. I'd assume not.
I don't think they would have much.
That felt a very 90s thing, and then it kind of cut off, you know? But I'm not completely sure. They could still be going.
I'm pretty sure they stopped. But what was your first album of 1990 that you would recommend to our listeners and me? Because I will be listening to this and reporting back next episode.
Okay, so the one album that I will recommend at the very tippy top has to be Mazzy Star, She Hangs Brightly.
Knew it.
I know, man. I'm telling you. It's just so pretty. It's such a pretty album, and every single song on that sounds different. None of them stick in the same kind of genre, right? But they all feel like a cohesive album. That's a really, really, really good start for Mazzy Star, because that was their first release.
Oh.
Yeah. It was really good.
I know that album is very aesthetic, and I hate using really that word, but it's so pretty. It's just so
pretty.
It's just so pretty. I know we keep reusing that word, but it's a beautiful album.
But I don't know, from what I've looked up on review wise of this movie, people are just they just think the lead singer sounds so haunting and sad and but so pretty, and it's such a wonderful album because of that.
And you said this was their debut?
This was their debut album.
Coming off strong.
Coming off super strong.
And I don't think they...
And then not even their biggest hit yet,
Yeah, so
by
they
the
even,
way.
they even reached their best. Like, they
No.
kept going better, getting better.
They did. They got Fade Into You in their next album, and that's
No, nice
really,
one.
really what set them off.
Do you know when that album was made or no?
I cannot tell you the exact year, but I can do a quick Google search.
Real quick, while you type real quick, and we all hear.
I'm gonna try to be really quiet with this.
Yeah, Mazzy Star is very good, and they did release Fade Into a couple years later. We will know when in a little bit. But that being their debut is such a strong introduction to their talent.
I have it.
All right, well,
It's 1993.
I was gonna say 1992. I wish I said it out loud.
It looks like they've released their like 3 most popular: She Hangs Brightly, So Tonight That I Might See, and Among My Swan. 3 years apart from each other.
Oh,
So they had a great career in the 90s.
so they paced their talent out. They paced. They knew that they wanted money and they wanted it to stay.
Oh yeah.
Do you have anything else to say before I?
I want to hear your album.
Okay.
I want to hear you have been telling me that it's going to be a surprise, and I have been anxiously waiting.
I feel like that might be. I hype myself up. It's definitely something I feel like you've listened to before.
Okay, tell me about it.
But before I talk about the album that I chose, I do want to talk about albums that I thought about.
Oh.
And I was so close to choosing People's Instinctive Travels and Paths of Rhythm by A Tribe Called Quest. Love them. They have their, I think, famous song "Can I Kick It" on there. Very good. If you like 90s like rap, and you would like that. But I decided to go with Facelift by Alice in Chains.
Oh.
Why do you have that reaction?
No, that's a good one.
It's good, and I was listening to both, and as much as I love A Tribe Called Quest, and I think that they are very monumental to the type of hip-hop and rap that we like now, and especially at the scene at the time, I was listening to Alice in Chains, and I think it's even more influential. There's just so many songs on there that to this day that I feel like the grunge and like metal community, not metal, but still use and like are inspired by. I thought it was such like a powerful fusion and kind of not really capitalized on until that point, until 1990. And I think I could very confidently say that Alice in Chains is one of those reasons why. It explored a lot of meanings and messages, and it did so without sacrificing any style or any type of like painting such a vivid picture. Vocals by the lead singer Lane Staley. I probably said his name wrong, and I know people might call me out for that, but
It's okay.
beautiful vocals. Obviously, I don't think that's anything like innovative to say, and the guitar work, innovative, beautiful. And I wasn't the only person that noticed this. It was critically acclaimed. It had a lot of success. I don't know if this was their debut album. That's definitely something I should have written down, but
I didn't know that was their debut either.
it might be. Let me double check. But Man in the Box got earned a Grammy nomination for Best Hard Rock Performance with Vocal, and yeah.
I mean, you want to talk the 90s. It's grunge. It's always grunge.
Widespread critical acclaim for that album.
And Man in the Box definitely is like a titan of a song.
I agree. Man in the Box, Sea of Sorrow, Hello, like just this was I think their debut.
I mean, just such a.
Or maybe I'm wrong.
It is a really powerful album, isn't it?
Very good, and I love it.
Super good. I just going back to the tradition of Unplugged, right? Have you seen their Unplugged?
No, I bet it's good. Is it?
It's really sad. It's really, really heartbreakingly good because the lead singer overdosed. That was his last performance. Was his Unplugged. I don't know if that's true. Do not quote me on that. But I think I have heard.
That just broke my heart.
He was
I did not know that.
really deep into drug addiction. But man, what a band Alice in Chains was.
What a band, what a legacy they had.
What?
Every album that they've released has at least some song in it that I'm sure everyone who's at least a little bit interested in music has heard once.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Not even interested. If you've even turned on the radio at least once, you've had to have heard
Alice in Chains.
You've had to heard Man in the Box. Or you've had to heard CSRO.
Or even something off Dirt if you want to just talk about Alice in Chains.
If you're talking about, you're so right. Dirt.
Wood. Wood is insane.
Now that I'm thinking about, like, there has to be no way that someone hasn't heard that. Like, Wood. Like, that was monumental for my childhood because I know, like, my dad played that all the time. And he would probably be very proud of me for picking Alice in Chains instead of A Tribe Called Quest.
And off of that same, off of Dirt, you got Down in a Hole, man. What, like...
Yeah, I'm looking through it now. Good choice, Abby. Good choice.
You did good. You did good.
And I thought it was really good. So many memorable songs from that album alone. So many memorable songs from Alice in Chains.
Of course.
And, it's just great for the time, too.
Going off of a little bit more of some music here. I mean, there's some albums that I really, really considered for this.
Like what?
For example, Heaven or Las Vegas by Cocteau Twins.
Yeah.
It's recently had a resurgence, right? Especially with Heaven or Las Vegas. And I'll admit that I was on that hype of just discovering them from this one song that was on TikTok, ? Was it? Did it get popular from there?
I'm sure.
Something. But just... if you delve deeper into that album, especially with my personal favorite of the first intro song of Cherry Colored Funk, wow.
What an introduction.
What an album.
What do you like about it?
Guys, I'm going to be so real. I thought they were speaking French that whole time.
I could see why.
They were not. That is full English lyrics. But besides that, which I thought was really interesting. Again, I know I keep using pretty, and that's the only word to describe things.
Take a shot every time we say the word pretty.
Be drunk by the end. What a pretty album. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Say it. Say it with your chest. What a pretty album.
What a pretty album. And Cherry Colored Funk, what a song. From there, I'm going to go to Jane's Addiction. Right, we're talking about grunge. We're talking about the super influential bands of the 90s and how just the grunge movement had just expanded from here.
Exploded.
Exactly. We have Ritual de lo Habitual, which had Been Caught Stealing on it. That's a very fun song, right? If you've never heard it, it starts with dog barking. Just like straight dogs barking over guitar, and it's super, super fun. It's a little disorienting at first, but when you get in, it's a jam. It's a jam. It's got to be the best jam. Now, admittedly, I have not listened to the rest of the album, but what a song Been Caught Stealing is. Another one I had was Goo by Sonic Youth. Just, again, exploring that alternative, just the experiments of the 90s.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was about to say. Like, 90s, even from the albums that we did choose.
I mean, everything in art of the 90s is just such a
creative
shift.
Like
so creative.
Yeah, you could really tell that like it was not dogging on generations before.
No,
but
of course not.
I feel like people were seeing it as a more like artistic venture into where they could really push the limits.
Yes.
And figure out where they can go with their music. And I think it paid off because like all the songs that you just listed, the ones that we picked, they're inspired by, or they inspired the music that we listen to now.
Oh, of course. There isn't a day goes by that I don't listen to at least one 90s song, And
like they're so good that they get popular on TikTok now.
Exactly.
Like you said about what song was it that got popular?
Heaven or Las Vegas.
Yeah, like
I think it got popular because
so
of TikTok
good
again.
that it got popular on TikTok again.
See, exactly. I mean, and we haven't even begun to like hit the iceberg, like the tip of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Of the 90, like
in
just
general,
in albums in 1990, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just that into like 90s
Maybe we're just so
pop culture.
nerds.
Maybe we're just really dorky, and thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking like 30 minutes of your time to listen to two
Nerds who weren't
nerds
in
who
the
just-
90s.
No, we were born. I was born in 2003.
I was born a year later.
See,
We were
So-
we were just like, damn.
dang.
We were just like, dang. That looks good. I'm surprised it took us that long to cuss. Hopefully that was past 10 minutes.
Maybe it was bad. I mean, I think we've been talking for 10 minutes.
Let's hope.
I'd hope so.
Do you have any more to say about music?
Are we on just the overarching theme of the 90s right now, or are we just sticking to 1990?
It's so hard to just stick to 1990.
It's so hard to just stick to a year.
Because like it's beginning of everything that we just talked about the 1990s. It's like you said, just the tip of the iceberg about what was about to come for the rest of the before the scare of Y2K.
Oh my goodness.
So
Not Y2K.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to movies.
Oh, you know mine.
You go ahead with yours.
Take a swig of my ALA.
Sponsored by L8.
Not
It's not.
not sponsor. We are not sponsored. We do not. ALA, if you want to sponsor us,
If only.
if you want to. I am going to be talking about Frank Henenlotter. I hope I said that right. His movie, Frankenhooker. Now, me and Abby Powers have seen this movie. Not exactly the most sober. Cut that out if we need to. It's a trip, man.
It's fun.
What a movie. What a movie. It's like you're not going to like it if you're really seriously into film, right? I mean, if you really appreciate
If you
like-
appreciate being silly,
if you appreciate having a fun goofy time,
if you appreciate the word fun.
if you like fun, this movie's for you.
Yeah, it was like relaxing almost, not having to think about a movie. Just being able to watch it and laugh and be like, that was stupid.
Oh, of course.
Like that why did that happen? That was dumb.
But that's what makes
But it
this
made
movie
me
perfect.
laugh. And that's all that matters.
I want to read a quote from Wikipedia. We do research on Wikipedia, by the way, guys. Sorry.
Reliable source.
Sorry. I mean, true. Here we go. So, they have a little release tab on Wikipedia. And here's what Frankenhooker says. Frankenhooker's initial release... Frankenhooker's initial release was delayed because of difficulty obtaining an R rating from the MPAA. The director recalls that one representative of the ratings body actually said in a phone call to the production company's secretary, "Congratulations, you're the first film rated S." And she said, "S for sex?" And they said, "No, S for shit."
That was such a read.
Like, it left me gagged, and I'm not even...
I'm gagged and you just read the quote to me.
It's
If someone said that to me, death.
death. I
Death.
mean, like, but I'm so glad he didn't quit. I'm so glad this movie was released. Now, I know we're recommending things to each other on this podcast, but where we've already seen it, I feel like we got to talk about it.
We have to.
We
It
have
is
to.
good. And it's something that I
No.
wouldn't hate to rewatch.
Oh, no, of course. I'll rewatch it any day of the week. I'll watch it go to sleep. I mean,
It's actually funny because when we first started becoming friends, we sat and tried to watch Frankenhooker like 2 times. And not because it was a bad movie and we couldn't
No,
get into it.
no.
It was just the power of friendship was so strong, we kept getting distracted and doing other things. But when I actually sat down and watched it, I remember thinking, dang, why didn't I just watch it sooner? Because it was just so much fun. And
it's
it,
so much fun.
like, I think people discredit silly movies so quickly, and I think it's such a shame because you're not enjoying something that could bring you so much pleasure and joy. Like,
agree.
if you only want to watch a movie because you want to be able to like analyze it, I think that can be fun, but overdone and done with so many movies, I just want to be able to turn my brain off sometimes.
I mean, it's real. And like, even just looking past the fun aspect of it, there's still stuff to analyze.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about practical effects.
Hello.
Frankenhooker has it all.
Mm-hmm. And like, it's not like it's completely like nuance free and it's just like there's no message and like it's just like a laugh track behind it. It's fun, and I feel like real movie enjoyers can find what makes any movie, including the funny, silly ones, good.
Yeah.
And this is
agree.
good because it didn't take itself so seriously that you felt like you had like some film bro was going to be behind you already on Letterboxd before it was even done.
That got me. It got me a little bit. Should we talk plot?
I was actually just about to say, with as many spoilers as possible.
As many spoilers as possible?
As little spoilers
I'll
as
say
possible.
it we'll pull it up.
Line to line. We're actually just reading the script off today.
Actually, if you can insert
Editor, it's me.
the whole movie right now.
It's actually like sped up in the corner this whole time.
From the very beginning of the podcast. That would be awesome.
Frankenhooker, brief rundown.
So, a guy named Jeffrey, right? Mad scientist kind of character. It's really silly that the first time you're introduced to him, he's working on a brain with an eyeball in a jar. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's already sets the tone from the very beginning of the movie. It's going to be a horror comedy, you know? From there, his partner, I forgot her name in the movie.
You keep going and I'll look it up.
They're both at a party for one of their family members. And she gets in an accident where she gets run over by an automatic lawnmower. And she is completely in pieces. Literally in pieces. So he doesn't take this very well, obviously. And takes what parts that he can of her after the crime scene. Elizabeth? Yes, Elizabeth. Takes what parts he can from her from the crime scene and puts them in a fridge and is now trying to recreate her body.
I'm like thinking about it, like I'm remembering scenes and I'm remembering parts, and I'm just like, that was so silly. That was so much fun.
It's so silly. It's super, super goofy. But like, it stuck with me so hard.
And the ending, like what we were saying about, like there's still nuances, like there's still messages, there's still something behind it that if you really wanted to analyze, you could. And you would have a good time doing that. Mm-hmm. But just the whole time it was silly, and I just enjoy some silliness.
Oh, I enjoy
some whimsy.
I enjoy some silliness.
Oh, I do indeed. I really do. Mm-hmm.
We're not even mentioning Super Crack, by the way.
Oh my God, we
you
haven't
forgot
even
about
mentioned
Super Crack.
Crack.
So, what he plans to do to reinvent Elizabeth is find hookers and give them Super Crack. That makes them explode. He develops Super Crack.
Super Crack that makes them explode.
Mm-hmm. And gets the parts and makes Frankenhooker, titular Frankenhooker. And then she goes on a rampage of being a hooker and also Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. That's Frankenhooker. It
is super funny, and for any listeners out there that really wanted to watch something that is just fun, watch Frankenhooker. It is. Would you call it campy?
Oh, of course.
You would call it campy?
I think it's super campy.
I think any person that I've talked to that says that they like campy horror, I think I've always mentioned Frankenhooker at least once.
Oh, of course. It's so. It's such. I wouldn't say an underrated gem.
I'm gonna say underrated.
You think underrated?
For sure.
Well, I mean, like, he's found more success, like the director himself, found more success in like his other movies of, especially Basket Case, and that one's really silly too. I think I haven't watched it all the way through again. Do not quote me on anything. I think that it's just this dude and his like evil twin brother that lives in a basket, and they're going about something.
They're doing something,
but I think that the evil twin brother's just in a basket, and that's why it's called Basket Case. There's 3 of them for some reason. I just saw that there's 3. There's 3. I don't know how you can make 3 stories out of that, but you can. And then Brain Damage is another good one.
That's the one.
I haven't watched that one yet, but it's in the watch list. You best believe.
Maybe we'll get that year next time and
there we go. Well, it's all up to the generator at this point.
All up to the generator.
All up to the generator. All right.
Mine.
You tell me about yours.
For mine, I chose the Tim Burton Edward Scissorhands.
No, I've never seen Edward Scissorhands.
I have, now granted it has been a while, but love story between Edward Scissorhands and
So why does he have scissors on his hands? like how did he get them there? Does it say that, or does he just, we're supposed to accept that he has scissor hands?
I'm looking it up. Since it's been so long, I'm just trying to make sure I don't lie.
You can lie on this podcast. It's okay. Believe everything we say.
Yeah, everything we say is instantly right. So 2 + 2 = 5.
You heard it here. I mean,
hello. Anyway, back to the movie. I feel like every person knows at least what Edward Scissorhands is. It's got a stacked cast. It's made by Tim Burton. And before we started recording this, I made a comment being like, when has Tim Burton ever made a bad movie? He made Dumbo. He made live action Dumbo.
He made the sequel to Beetlejuice,
and
by the way.
I don't want to be too critical.
I know.
But I don't think that those are some of his best movies. Or I think those are his worst. So, because he did make some good ones.
He did. Of course he made good ones.
And you can't discredit those. And Edward Scissorhands being one of them.
Now, I've never watched.
I
Sell me on it.
I don't think I could.
Really?
Gun to my head, don't think I could.
Okay.
Knife to my throat, I think I would just say, go ahead.
Just watch it.
I'm editing that part out. It's good. It turns into, like, you see Edward Scissorhands trying to adapt, and it has very young
and live with his scissor hands.
It has a young Winona Ryder in it, and a young Johnny Depp. I forgot that was Johnny Depp.
I did too.
Yeah, that's Johnny Depp. And it's popular, and for good reason. It's good. I hate using the word classic because I feel like it's hard to define what a classic is, but I'm going to define it as a Tim Burton classic. I mean, if you name the rest of the Tim Burton movies that you think of, Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, God. Again, knife to my throat. I can't name Tim Burton movies.
There we go.
Sorry,
he's had other ones.
Escaping me.
We're bad film students, aren't we?
Well, don't say that.
Oh yeah, he did make Miss Peregrine's House for Peculiar Children, Frankenweenie.
Not Frankenhooker.
Not Frankenhooker.
Two different things.
Sweeney Todd. I forgot he made Sweeney Todd too.
I've never seen Sweeney Todd either.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride.
Oh, no, Corpse Bride. That's a good one.
What?
What?
He made Planet of the Apes?
Did he really?
Yeah. Okay, I feel like Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks, yeah.
I mean, obviously Batman Returns. Yeah. He's a good director. I will give him that.
Very good director.
And he has a lot of good movies.
He has whimsy to him.
However, Dumbo and the sequel to Beetlejuice are just not my favorites. I don't think they're that good. I think just you could have left Beetlejuice alone.
Yeah, I think it could have just been a standalone movie. It was not needed. You do not need to have him be back. Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands is good. I recommend people who watch it who want to like that type of like gothic fairy tale vibe would like it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have much to say on it, sadly. I feel like I really wish I prepared myself better so I could talk more about Edward Scissorhands, because I know there's going to be fans out there that would have so much more to say.
I know. We're sorry to fans, by the way. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's going to be like a diehard fan of Frankenhooker listening to this. Like, he wasn't right at anything.
There's going to be some like Edward Scissorhands fanatic being like, well, actually.
We're going to get in the comments of this video.
We're going to get a well, actually in this comment.
And Edward Scissorhand Lover 52. going to comment first?
It just has very good themes of like conformity, understanding differences, adapting, and all while having very good visuals and aesthetics and a good wardrobe, obviously, good set design. And I would think anyone who has any interest in movies should watch it at least once.
I'm definitely going to watch it now.
Well, you have to, because it's part of the podcast.
That's very true. It's kind of our civil duty.
Yeah. If you don't, I'll kill you.
Oh.
I'm saying that with a straight
Well,
face.
this might just be an Abby episode next week.
Sorry, guys.
I will be dead.
Yeah, I'm going to kill Zach if he doesn't watch it. For you. I'm doing it for the viewers.
Yeah, we have to please the audience. We can't just vote in the comments if I should live or die, guys.
Guys, go down in those comments section and vote on how I should kill Zach.
What are the methods? What are the options?
Gun, hanging, or torture. Go ahead. Vote.
I voted for all three.
Or should I do like medieval type torture where it's like I put you like in a metal bowl?
You need to put me in like stocks and have viewers throw stones at me.
I'm going to have our viewers throw tomatoes at you.
What tomatoes?
Anyway, that's all we have to say about those movies about that album.
Mm-hmm.
It is our duty for next episode to watch those and report back on what we thought. I would love to know what you thought about Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, of course.
Since I did a really bad job at analyzing it and providing a good explanation like you did for Frankenhooker, and this is your first time going to be watching it, so I think it'd be a good time colliding, and you can report what you thought about next episode.
Oh, of course. And you have to listen to that Mazzy Star album.
Mm-hmm, all the way through. And
all the way through.
It gives me
so
another
good.
excuse to watch Frankenhooker.
There you go.
There you go. And I have to tell you guys more about Super Crack.
And Super Crack. I mean,
there you go.
Super Crack.
And Exploding Hookers.
Exploding Hookers, Super Crack. I mean,
got it all. Brain with an eyeball.
Brain with an eyeball.
Got it all.
Somebody getting ran over with a lawnmower. I mean, what's more to want in a movie?
What else is there to life?
What else is there to life?
So we're going to end this by generating the next year.
Oh, Lord.
And then we will be saying goodbye. Next year, oh my God, you're not going to believe it. It's 1991.
Okay, well, we're not doing 1991.
Yeah, we're skipping that one. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
1989.
This generator's weird.
Well, now we have 2023.
Do you want to do 2023?
Let's do 2023.
I feel like we're doing 2023.
We tried 2 different times, and it literally gave us the neighboring years of 1990.
Get ready for nostalgia from 2 years ago.
And I bet there's not a lot of movies in 2023. Because we just got out of COVID.
I'm sure there's something.
Writer's strike.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that happen in 2023?
Wait, you might have a point.
But that will give us a bigger challenge for our viewers. We're going
to venture into it.
We'll find something good, whether we like it or not.
I want to find that one Netflix movie that was completely written by AI and talk about it on this podcast. I hope that came out in 2023. Because I'll talk about it. I don't know. What did come out in 2023? Well, that's what we'll find out next time.
That's what we'll figure out in between episodes, and we report back. I think this is a good way to end it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you again next week, and hopefully, if we have any viewers, they'll come back, and I'll see you again next week.
Hopefully,
viewers.
You all do come back. Thank you. Thank you for taking your time to listen to literally 2 dorks just talk about things for 30 minutes or however long this has been going.
We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.